We're not taking a cut out of that money. Community Pay It Forward will not take any money from direct donations of this 22 hours. Okay? We're not taking money for that. We will be keeping some of the money to help this run better, to share this out, to get this mission further widespread. Look, since Wednesday, 22nd, 2023, our program has been seen over 1,000 times. Now, I know that there are people who get seen 1,000 times in a day. That's not us, not yet. But it can be, and it will be, if we work together. And if we start working together and we start helping these smaller nonprofits, and we start getting the word out there that these nonprofits are out there, we can do so much for our veterans, for our heroes who gave up their time to serve our country. It's important that we honor them for what they did. Now, once again, so we've got the two things going on. We got the 22-hour podcast that's coming up, and then the QR code up in the corner. Code. I don't know why I just went Minnesota there. I don't know what happened. Hey, it is what it is. Oh, and she's back. But you've got the QR code up in the corner that you can help us make someone's holidays a very happy holiday. Because look, I was looking it up the other day, and millions of families go hungry every night. They don't have anything when it comes to a holiday. No matter what holiday you celebrate, in which in the email blast that I put out, I put out there every December holiday that's being celebrated this year. So you're going to see that there's quite a few of them. There's a lot of them that are Christian, Jewish. There's, they're out there. Pagan. There's, or Wicca. And of course, that's pretty prevalent here in my house with Adrian. Don't leave anybody behind if you can help it. Let's help them. That's what Community Pay It Forward is. Please do remember, you can support organizations like all of them that we've been talking about. Brian with Project Die Hard, JR with Veterans Ranch, Bart with Veterans Honoring Veterans, John Vogels with Martyred Angels. All of these wonderful, 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 heartfelt, heart love programs. You can also help people who are just needing a helping hand. You can help them by simply shopping with our giving partners. Great giving partners give us a referral, and when they give us that referral, you tell us who you want to support. We take that money, that referral, and we give at least 80% to the organization that you choose to support. Like, I started this because I know what it's like to suffer. Just like all of you. Every single one of us has been through something that we've suffered. The truth is, you don't have to suffer alone. And if people know that you've got a problem, if people know that you're out there and you need the help, they can help you. If they don't know that you need the help, and one of the worst things in the world for people, small nonprofits, small businesses to hear, one of the worst things for them to hear is, I wish I would have known about you before ... happened.
History on critical race theory. We've been talking about that because
speaking from as one of those smaller businesses, we're out here beating our heads against the wall every day trying to make sure that people know that we're here. To hear that, God, I wish I would have known about you before this, it hurts. It really does. So let's get together, let's work together, and let's see what we can do to hear and to support others. Having questions, go to www.communitypayitforward.us. That's www.communitypayitforward.us, and you can find out more information. Well, I'm starting to see some people coming up, and it looks to me like there's one with a really, really big nose, and he's got some horses behind him too, but we'll bring him up here in just a minute. First off, we've got my brother, Publio. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Sorry for my tardiness.
Very, very good. Very good. We're just talking about the upcoming events and everything, and moving on from there. So how's business going? How's life going?
Very busy. I've been extremely busy, but it's good. I'd rather be busy than bored. Always rather be busy than bored. But I can't complain. I love what I do.
So tell us a little bit about Zafiri.
Well, Zafiri is basically like a business consulting where it helps large or medium-sized and large companies that are having issues with cash flow or problems with due diligence type issues. Actually, even smaller businesses. A lot of times, business owners will get into their business and they'll get over their head where they need to basically. How can I explain it? Basically, sometimes you get into something that you don't know all the elements, and then the elements you don't know end up catching up with you, and you have a lot of trouble. So we're there to fix that. We're here to give advice, to help plan, even fractional CFO, CEO, stuff like that, COO. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things, and I always tell people, I do it all the time, and I am very guilty of this. I tell people I know exactly what my company is. And I know exactly what I want to do, but that doesn't mean other people understand it, and that doesn't mean that people are going to support you with that, and going at things going, well, what the hell's wrong with you? How do you not know what I'm talking about? That's probably not the best way to do it, right? So,
true.
Well, joining us first is a great friend of mine, been on the show many times, been on the 22-hour podcast, both of the first 2 years. We're working to maybe get him on for the third year. Mr. J.R. Smith. J.R., how are you, brother?
Good evening, y'all. How you doing?
Fantastic.
Fantastic. Looks like you're not covered in snow.
No, sir. We got out of Utah and Colorado. Hey, I'm on camera. Knock it off. Hang on, it's feeding time, and they know it. So he's trying to let me know. This is Bo. That's Bo, and Bo knows it's feeding time. No, we tell you what. I'm gonna set this down. This is improvisation right here. I had to run up here to get in front of these horses. We left Florida a little over a week, 10 days ago. I don't know. Time flies when you're having fun. And we were in Texas for a couple of days. We had to go to Utah to get our donated horses, and actually left literally the day before. Came out I-80 through Wyoming, stopped one night in Fort Collins, Colorado, and then made it into Amarillo the next day and back to Weatherford, where we are here right now.
JR, I wish you would have let me know. I am literally 30 minutes from Fort Collins.
Oh, brother, it was literally 3 o'clock in the morning, freezing. We had blown a tire. We stopped in a parking lot and got up after some bad sleep, got some petrol, and we were back on the road. We needed a hot shower like there was no tomorrow. So
we
didn't have a lot of time.
I still would have tried to come and see you. Or
I was thinking about you, brother. I was like, hey, we're going through northern Colorado.
Yeah.
I was thinking about you.
I would have tried to come out and seen you, but I would have looked at you as you were fixing your tire because I've only got the one wing right now. But so I got out of the brace today, which is nice. But still only got one wing, and
Good.
She's back. Good Lord, girl, go away. I love her. I love her.
Bothering me.
Your dog, and my horses.
And Publio's
My
got
kitten.
his cat, and he's got his
Rescued
animals.
the little girl last week.
So,
Yeah.
JR, I'd like to welcome you. This is our third episode. Publio is a Air Force veteran of 23. Yes,
Nope, 22.
22 years.
Nope.
So
20 years. 20. I don't remember now. 20 years, 6 months. Yeah. Good God, my memory is so bad.
and obviously he's
Oh.
been tipping the sauce. Oh no.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Not yet.
But he and I started this show, and what we wanted to do is make sure that we were really bringing to light a lot of one of the things that you and I like to do, JR, bringing to light a lot of the programs that have to do with the veterans and the suicide epidemic, and bring up businesses and nonprofits trying to help. Publio, JR runs the Veterans Ranch. Do you still have a ranch in Florida, or is that one down?
Yeah, so the way Florida's ran since its inception was we used a network of other people's horses and facilities to do trail rides, weekend therapy sessions, the whole 9 yards. It was run out of our house. Our house is still there. The house we rent, it's still there. But we're here in Texas for a good while. We're relocating the headquarters to North Texas. So there's a half big announcement. And so we're here in Weatherford right now, getting a lot of stuff done. And this is probably where headquarters central is going to become.
Okay. Well, you're that means that you're like a day away from us, instead of like half a country away now. So
Exactly.
maybe we can come and see you sooner or later. So tell us a little bit about this event that you've got going on, JR.
Yeah, so okay, I was wondering which one you were going to pull up first. All right, so benefit concert. So this money raised from this concert will go towards taking care of these three guys, buying land, anything to do with the ranch. That's what it's going to be. Boy, they're getting feisty. They know it's dinner time. Hey, excuse me. I'm going to keep it short because we got to get these boys fed. They're nipping at each other because they're hungry. Anyway, so this benefit concert, we have Laura Lee, our national spokesman. We now have a country music singer who's our national spokesman, CJ Garton. He lives in Nashville, but he's originally from Oklahoma. He's old school, red dirt country music. Absolutely great guy. And then, of course, we got Ryan Weaver as well. CJ's a Navy veteran. Ryan's a 21-year Army veteran. We had him on the very first 22-hour podcast, if you remember. So super great guy. We're going to be hosting it at Billy Bob's, Texas, in the Fort Worth Stockyards, Sunday, February 18th. You go to the website, theveteransranch.org. There's a button you hammer for buying tickets. They're going fast, so get them while you can. We're giving away 100 tickets to veterans and Gold Star families. So the other 3,900 tickets, you all got to buy them.
Well, and they can get the tickets by going to your website, correct?
Yes, they go to the website, they hit the buy ticket button right on the homepage, and it'll take them right to the Access ticket site. where they can buy all the tickets.
All right, that sounds great. That sounds great. So, and you started this organization as you're a patriot. You're not a veteran. That's one of the things that we like to make sure that people understand. You're not a veteran. You started this. Your father is a veteran, but you started this in honor of those who have served our country.
Absolutely. My wife and I, both patriot. Dad, Vietnam veteran, U.S. Navy, 69 to 73. Hoo-yah. So, that was his time in the service. We got sick and tired of being sick and tired around 2017 or reading stories about, men and women going to the VA saying, hey, I feel like hurting myself. No, you're not effed up enough. Go home. And they off themselves in the truck in the parking lot. Deny till you die. Here's another pill. We knew there had to be another way. And so we started this literally with a legal pad and the good Lord, right? My dad always told me to keep a legal pad next to the bed in case you get an idea in the middle of the night. I chicken scratched the word ranch, had no idea what it meant. 2 weeks later, my wife and I are at a Chili's, a little plug for them. And, all of a sudden I'm scribbling stuff. About 20 napkins later, the ideas for the ranch were born. And by December of 2017, we were a charity. But we started like most nonprofits do. A lot of passion, a lot of drive, not a lot of cash. So that's where we developed our network. We're also partnered with Cowboys for Christ out of, they're actually based out of Fort Worth, out of the Tampa area. And so we started working a lot of rodeos, all kinds of stuff that helped us build our network of friends so we could do what we do, leading up to almost 6 years. This next month, we're now moving stuff to Texas. We've got, we got 3 horses. That's Rico, and the feisty one right there is King, and I already introduced you to Bo. And now you can sponsor a horse. You can go to that same website. There's a sponsor a horse button. And, for $50 a month, sponsor a horse, you're going to get a t-shirt that says, I sponsored Bo King. You're going to get a hoodie. So we'll send you a Veterans Ranch hoodie, and you'll get a newsletter talking about, what your horse is doing and who they're serving and how they're helping. So lots of great ways you can help, because King and Rico, they're about 1,000 pounds each. They eat a lot. Okay. Bo is 1,500 pounds. He's kind of our resident fatty. He should be about 1,400 pounds. We kind of got to Jenny Craig him here a little bit, but he eats more than the rest, right? I'd rather take a little weight off of him than put some on. It's a little easier to take it off than to put it on. But for $50 a month, what are you sponsoring? You're helping our new 4-legged employees serve more of these veterans and Gold Star families. I mean, I dropped $300 at the feed store the other day on 12 bags of shavings and a couple giant, things of alfalfa. So it adds up fast. For everybody out here watching, they've heard me say this a million times before. The word sheep and horse never go hand in hand.
Yeah.
So, a fool and his money, I think, might actually get closer together than sheep and horse. So, but we got them. We're super appreciative of the veteran that donated them to us. And, we're already doing great things with them. We had some folks out here the other day, and we were working with them. Follow us on all the socials and everything. You'll see all the videos and pictures and everything going up. But there's so many ways you can help. You can do $19 a month. You can sponsor a horse. You can make a one-time donation. We don't care. It's all going to the mission. Okay, still 6 years into this, none of us have taken a salary. I'm just letting everybody know that's going to have to change eventually. Because now we're living in a 9-foot living quarters horse trailer. Okay, so we're gonna have to start taking a salary soon so we could get some other stuff moving personally. But the bottom line is your money's going to the mission. Okay, we're not against salaries. It's just we're still at that stage where it'd rather go to the mission than to go in my pocket or my wife or my dad's pocket, right? So anybody out there watching, just go to the website, theveteransranch.org. Give us a call. The number's up there. Even though I'm in Texas and that's a Florida number, you're still going to get me. You might get voicemail if I'm working with these boys, but, you know, bottom line is we're going to get back to you, and you can email us as well. You know, I mean, Zach, always appreciate your support, brother. You've been there from the early days, you know, when we were putting all this stuff together. So we really appreciate that and everything you've done for us of helping us get our word out there.
Yeah, well, not a problem. I know that your time is short, but Publio, I wanted to give you a chance. Do you have any questions for JR?
No, I'm very excited about what you're doing. It's very interesting. And I really appreciate you and your wife for doing this for the veterans, because I tell you, sometimes it seems like nobody cares, or, you know, and it's nice to see that people do care. And I really appreciate it. And I hope that everybody that you come across lets you know that we appreciate it.
I couldn't hear him.
Oh, I don't.
Am I muted?
No, you're not muted. I can hear you. Can you hear me still, or?
I can hear you. I just can't hear him. So if you could repeat his question, I'll be more than happy to answer it.
Yeah, actually, he just wanted to let you know that as a veteran, he wanted to thank you very much for everything that you and your wife and your dad are doing, because, you know, and make sure that you understand that as a veteran, he appreciates it because this is so important. And you know, I mean, that's always what we say as well. But I also wanted to I wanted to give you one other I guess offer. And if you want to take and record some of your event that you've got coming up on the 18th, you know, 4 days later, we can show some of it on the 22-hour podcast. Why don't we take and kind of show people what you got going on, and that way we can get you prepared for next year. I know that
absolutely.
I know that our great friend Brian Gibson, he's got something coming up here very soon as well, and making the same offer to him as well. You know, let's record some of this stuff and we can get it on the pACT channel and make sure that you know, I mean, I know that you guys are very good about sharing stuff, but let's make sure people are seeing this good, you know, and but boy, that's a beautiful, beautiful horse. I just don't like those things. They got teeth. So
yeah, that's King. And we're going to come over here. There's Rico. And then we're going to come down here and we're going to show everybody Bo. Where's Bo? There's Bo. So now you get to meet our new 4-legged employees. And they're eating me out of house and home. I feel like I have teenagers. So
well, obviously, if you're living in a 9-foot trailer, buddy, they're literally eat you out of home. But you know what? Congratulations on the new move, brother, man. Congratulations.
Thanks,
on
brother.
that.
We appreciate it.
I know that you've been trying to get things going, and I know that it's been a hard road, but I have all the faith in the world. We've got a small community ourselves. We have been friends. We've got another really good friend in our group that we're here to support each other. You know, we don't get to talk near as much as we used to, but lives are busy. I just want you to know, and everyone to know, man, I love and I support everything that you guys are doing. And if I could yell it any louder, I would, but you know, people are kind of tired of me yelling. So, but like we said, like I said, every year, you know what? I'm scheduled to go for 22 hours on the 22nd, but if we can raise $1 million, I'll shut up for that day. But, you know, only for that day. I won't completely shut up, because I mean, $1 million would be nice to split in between the 10 organizations, but you know, we definitely need to keep this going. One more time, give us your information so people can go and get a hold of you. Theveteransranch.org. Your phone number is?
Yep, veteransranch.org, 863-815-5896. And they can always hit us on email as well, contact@theveteransranch.org. Smash all them donate buttons, buy concert tickets if you're anywhere near the Fort Worth area, you know, the DFW Metroplex, as they call it. If you're anywhere near that area, buy some tickets. You are not going to regret it. These guys know how, and gal know how to put on a show.
And I've got an idea for you. If you're
Yep,
not
there it is.
anywhere, if you're not anywhere near their area, buy a couple and donate it to your VA. Buy a couple and donate it to the VFW there in the area. Give it to some
good idea.
veterans that want to
Yep.
go out there and get them. Go out there and watch this. Just buy the tickets and donate them. You know, I mean, if you can't be there, it's not like it's going to hurt. You know, I mean, do some good. Think of it this way. This would be a great Christmas gift for a veteran out there who would like to go to this, but is kind of down on his luck. This is kind of what we were talking about the Christmas giving. Look, this is something that could really make someone's day, and it will always keep you in their mind because they know that you cared enough to donate to them. So,
Yep, that's right. Absolutely.
all right, brother, man, you get back and feed those horses. I don't want to see that pretty little hat of yours getting a big old chunk out of it. So, and you know, that's the one thing that I forgot to do is I forgot to bring down my hat, and that way I could have a funny hat too. But you know, I've got my granddaughter's hat now. So, but
There you go.
But brother, man, please keep up the good work. I appreciate everything that you do. You know, I send my love, and you know that we're just going to keep going until we can't keep going no more.
Absolutely, brother. Appreciate being on. Thanks to all the fans and everybody out there watching and supporting. And, you know, we always say, God bless, take care, and giddy up.
Sounds good. Thank you,
That's
JR.
Nice meeting you.
JR Smith with the Veterans Ranch. And Publio, have you ever got on a horse?
I have a few times. I'm not a huge fan, but
Yeah.
I do appreciate what they are and what they have meant to this country and stuff like that too. You know, because I mean, the cavalry was an important part of our army for a long time, and there's a lot of rich history to that. I don't know if you know this, but General Patton, when he was a captain, he designed a sword when he was a cavalry officer that ended up being the what they said it was the best iteration of a sword ever. And even, you know, talking about even like Japanese swords and broadswords, all stuff, the sword that General Patton had designed was the best sword ever designed. And it's a rich history that goes back to the cavalry. You know, it's really neat. But
I do know that you know, I mean, you go way back and Washington had his horse, and he was a huge fan of his horse. Yeah, hell, you go all the way back to Alexander. Alexander had Persepolis, I think was his name, and he was able to get on that horse, and that's the reason why his dad gave him the kingdom. And his dad told him, look, you're going to need to go and find a kingdom that is big enough to handle you, you know, something to those effects. You know, and I mean, so horses have been a huge part of you know, veterans and armies and stuff for a long time. But the one thing that JR always talks about, and this is one of the things that, you know, unfortunately we got him during dinner time for those crazy animals. You know, my horses have 2 wheels and a motor. Those ones, those kind with the 4 legs, they scare the living hell out of me, to be honest with you, brother. Yeah,
I got a funny horse anecdote.
Yeah, go for it.
I've been reading, you know, I listen to a lot of history, you know, 'cause I'm very interested. I'm reading about George Washington and his wife. I can't remember her name off the top of my head right now, but she was
Martha.
Her parents, yeah, Martha. Her parents were a funny. He was a very rich man, her father, and his mother or his wife fought all the time. And he said that one of the instances they were driving a carriage through, I guess it was Martha's Vineyard or something like that, and they got in such a fight. He almost drove he threatened and almost drove his carriage with the 2 horses and his wife into the river. Many times we said that, you know, driving your car, I'm going to drive this car into the, and he did it with a horse and carriage. I loved it. Oh, it was funny.
Well, you know, it is kind of nice knowing that that's not something new. It's like, oh God, I'm just going to end it right here. You know what? I'm going to take and I'll put this cart in the river. I don't now see there was once that when my when my second son was still in the womb, my wife at the time, she was doing everything she could to get that labor to come, and I was golfing almost every day. Well, we went out to the golf course, and she decided that she was going to drive the cart.
Oh no.
I have never in my life been so scared at golfing. I mean, that was, I literally had to put my foot on the ground to keep the cart from tipping over a couple times.
Oh
So
my gosh.
she was doing whatever she could do to, to stop the craziness. But yeah, it was really quite interesting. So, are we going to be joined by your guest, or has she not been able to make
I
it?
thought she was coming. I'll just send her a message real quick.
Yeah, let me go on ahead, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to play this video while you try to get a hold of her real quick. I'm going to play our video again. Again, this is talking about our 22-hour podcast coming up Thursday, February 22nd, from 2 a.m. until midnight Mountain Time, 4 a.m. To 2 a.m. Eastern. So here we go. This is Community Mission to Serve Our Veterans. Okay, here it goes. Okay, once again, you can scan the QR code that you see right there, and when you scan the QR code, that gives you the opportunity to do a couple things. You can join us as one of the 10 nonprofit organizations, and we're going to work with you to try to raise money. But more importantly, we're going to tell your story. You're going to be able to talk to people like you can do right here, the third or the fourth Wednesday of every month with Publio and myself. But we're going to tell your story on this day, and hopefully we're going to, save that first life, because we can't save them all until we save the first one. So scan that QR code and you can tell us your story. You can also sponsor an hour or more. There's even an option to where we can try to, we will come and we will broadcast from your building for 1 hour. So, we can be right there. And of course, if you're not in the Northern Colorado area, we might need someone to, DJ it for us. But, even if you want to do it, we can just sit there and we can talk to you that whole hour right there from your business. But there are so many things that we can do. Every sponsorship, a portion of the sponsorship goes to the 10 nonprofits. Okay. Out of every sponsorship, a portion goes to the nonprofits. Or if you choose just to donate, 100% of that donation will go to the nonprofit and charity organizations that we are raising money for. Right now, we've got 3. We have got and two of them have been right here on this show. Publio, we've got Rescue Resident.
Oh yeah,
And
that's one of the ambulances, right?
yeah, that's the one with the ambulances. Yep.
That guy was amazing.
Uh-oh. Yeah. And yeah, it was I love that story. I love what he does, and what they're doing and everything that they got going on. One of the other things that they have going on right now, just to let everyone know, is they've got their event coming up, and all of a sudden my computer just really went slow. So just give me a second here. But they have their first annual Desert Jamboree. And of course, AMBO is ambulance. I didn't know that. I actually had to look that up on the old Google machine. It's like, what is AMBO? And then it made sense to me. Then I saw it was ambulance, and it was kind of one of those things where I slammed my head against the desk. It's like, really? You couldn't figure that out? So, but they got their first annual Jamboree coming up in Thermal, California. So you can get all the information you want by going to their website, which is rescueresidence.org. rescueresidence.org. Again, here's a great opportunity. Maybe if you can't make it, buy a ticket, send a veteran. There you go. That's just one way to make a veteran's life a little bit better this holiday season. But then you're also going to make a veteran's life a hell of a lot better in the long run, because you're donating to this wonderful program. So, but Rescue Residence is one of the organizations that we are going to be raising money for. Then Veterans Honoring Veterans, Mr. Bart, he's one of the organizations we're going to be raising money for. And then we've also got one of our dearest friends. He does the podcast with me, Mr. Dennis Schroeder, and in service of the country. And the one thing that they include people who have possibly taken their own lives, which is something that, you know, the Gold Star families, they don't do that. So, you know, it's something that you know, they go a little bit further, because look, it's always, I mean, it's a problem. It's a problem. And they've got an organization that's also part of the program. Okay. It is called the Price of Freedom Foundation. And right there is their information. It's the Price of Freedom Foundation. All you have to do is scan that QR code, and any purchase you make from any of our partners goes straight to them. And look at this. We've been talking about them all show. You got Project Die Hard right underneath them. You can scan their QR code, and it goes to help Brian complete the fobs and everything that they've got going on. So, but you have Veterans Honoring Veterans and the Veterans Ranch. Look, these are just some of the organizations that we're working with to try to make a difference in veterans' lives. So, what'd you find out, brother?
She didn't get back to me, which is unfortunate, because she's a very interesting veteran. I worked with her at I worked adjacent to her when we were at Keesler Air Force Base. I was an instructor at the weather school, and she was an instructor. I can't remember what she taught. It wasn't PMEL. It was God. My memories gave me a lot of trouble recently. But she's a very sharp. I would say young lady, because I think she's young, but actually I think she's my age. But she looks much better than I do. She's very sharp, very smart. She's got her own consulting business as well, and she calls herself the Boss Whisperer. She's a very smart young lady. She very acutely, or not acutely, but accurately, I think, analyzes a lot of situations that a lot of people deal with in the workplace, and are able to see it from the employer's point of view and the employer's point of view, employee and employers, and tries to bridge that gap. She's very smart. I was hoping she would be able to make it. Something must have come up because she messaged me not less than an hour ago saying she's going to be on.
Well, we got a little bit more time. Let's not give up hope. Hopefully we can get her on. Hopefully she will be here. But if not, we will try to get her on maybe next month. Do whatever we can to get her on next month. We can definitely just keep working on that. But so I ran across something the other day, Publio, and I kind of wanted to get your opinion on this.
Okay.
Only 11% of people who, and you know what the numbers are, all right? Numbers on when it comes to suicide of Americans in 2022, 49,449 lost their lives in America alone. Okay.
I think we know what you're talking. Where you're going with this. That news article that came out said that 2023 was the highest rate for suicide since like 1972 or something like that. Is that what you're talking about?
No, actually, what I was going with was I found out the other day, and I looked, I was looking into this, and I found out the other day that only 11%. That's only 11%. This 49,449. That was only 11% of people who attempted suicide. So add the other 89%, and that is people who have attempted suicide.
Yeah.
And then that number is almost tripled with people who put or who have a plan. So the way that the way they've broken it down is you have people who have a plan and created a plan, people who have put the plan in action, and then the people who have actually committed suicide. And that, I think that's one of the reasons why we're doing what we're doing, is because we've got to catch them before, should we feel good that it's only 11% that succeed in that
I don't think so. I think that any loss is really unacceptable. It's unfortunate because I think about this myself, and I've been, I don't want to make myself sound even important at all, but I've been kind of close to the edge a few times myself. And I think part of the problem is that I think, and I'm talking from the military mind because of how I think from what I was, and I wasn't like hyper military, but it was, we look at problems and we look for the solution. And a lot of times people get to the point where there is no solution, and it turns into a level of frustration where it comes to the point where the only way out is out. And what people need to understand is that's not the case. I'm a big proponent of things like Stoic philosophy, stuff like that, where you have to realize that when you're in that moment of emotion, emotions are basically uncontrolled responses. You need to wait till it passes before you make decisions. And it's a very hard thing to do. It takes a lot of discipline, but it's discipline that a lot of people aren't accustomed to, because we're used to seeing an action or seeing a problem and dealing with it at the moment. And when we can't, it builds that frustration, and golly, it's terrible. And I've lost some friends this year, thankfully, none to suicide, but I have lost some good friends that I had in the military, and I lost another friend that was in the military, but I met kind of adjacently, but it's very devastating. It really is.
And as I was talking about before you came on, certain states, and Colorado is one of the states, that if you overdose prescription or recreational drugs, if you overdose, they call that an accidental suicide.
Oh, wow.
Our government does not classify an overdose as a suicide with veterans. They don't do that. That's one of the reasons why the numbers are so askew. Okay, because you're gonna, your state is gonna classify a veteran who overdoses. Like here in Colorado, if a veteran is having a problem and is on drugs and overdoses, that's going to be considered a suicide. It's going to be listed as a suicide, but the VA is not going to call that a suicide. So that's where we've got the misconception of the numbers. And I think that I think that's where a huge disconnect is with people and the number, because the number is closer, closer to 40 plus of accidental or purposeful deaths of veterans every day.
It's a way of skewing the statistics to make it seem like it's not a problem. That's the problem.
That's exactly where I was going with this, Publio. Do you think that it's kind of one of those things that they're sitting there going, look, we know that we know that we haven't done the best for our veterans, but we don't want everyone to know it?
I'll be honest with you. I think what it is these kind of situations are heavy politically motivated. And I don't think that anybody wants the veterans to suffer or to commit suicide. But I think what happens is you've got these factions, and the reality is the factions, the liberals and conservatives. And instead of doing action, it's easier to relabel things, because action really involves sacrifice, and it involves putting yourself out there and being judged and potentially making mistakes. And as we know in the political world, you can't make a mistake without the other side making complete taking complete advantage of it. And I'm talking about both sides. I'm not talking one side or the other.
Yeah.
So what happens is we have a lot of these situations where somebody, in order to get elected or whatever, they make these promises that they don't intend to keep, or they don't realize that they cannot keep. And in order to make it look like they've kept it, a lot of times I think they just